years around this globe. And that, look at it. Look at the size of it, the sheer scale of it.
And the thing that amazes me is these screens, they look so good, but they're see-through because the players sit behind them. I don't really know how that works.
It's magic.
But it looks sick.
It's magic, Tim. And
also, augmented reality. Hooray. Fantastic.
It is fantastic stuff. More fantastic stuff will be in the game as we do jump into the map. The plane ride is pretty friendly for everyone, I'd say. Yeah, the military island players might be a little thrown off, but apart from those blokes, I reckon everyone's pretty happy with this one.
Yeah, we're going to see the all the teams who like to loot up around Georgia Pole. Didn't really get the chance last game as that circle was so far away. I think it was only C9 who actually made the trip up there. Everyone else chose alternative loot locations, but 4AM do like to go towards North Georgia Pole. They've done just that, sending Suck away by himself to go a little bit further north, and why not? They know that they're on their own. C9 going into the south there as well. As where are Omen? Well, they normally like to loot there too, but it doesn't look like they are going for that route.
Already we've seen a change up from a team. We've seen with 4AM they had to choose the quarry last time. They were kept to the quarry location because of the way the plane path worked out. But this time they've had their pick of their loot spot really in North Georgia Pole and Zaki. It looks like that's the spread they're going to choose. They're going to be greedy with this loot. They know that no team wants to challenge them early on. So they are going to take as much loot as they can get their grubby little hands on. XQF spread out in vehicles now, trying to get their looting going on. This looks like they'll be around the Gatka area. Jimmy pulling up on the block, getting his work done pretty early. Cool Boy has found himself alone in this little village, this little compound. Georgia Pole crates by Unique. They're very popular. It's actually a fantastic loot location. There's so much loot at these Georgia Pole crates. If you're a squad that can manage to find this by yourselves, you can walk out with some level 3 silly vests, level 3 silly hats, and be very happy with yourself.
And a lot of cover as well amongst those crates if the pressure does come. Whoa, that's a zone. Incredibly far east. That's going to be a lot of movement for our teams up in Georgia Pole to do. Udo once again going to have to make a pretty sizable rotation. So too, Team Queso out on the western coast. XQF going to have to move on there as well. So we'll have to see exactly how this one goes. A lot of our teams, though, are pretty comfortable where this zone's going to be. There's a lot of water in it.
Got a feel for these guys on screen, though. FFQ, they've been pushed off loot locations, and they're running with the scraps at the moment, and they're going to have to make a very long rotation early days to get into this zone. So far, FFQ have not found, well, their feet at all, really, as we are on board with Scout. One of the star players out of the Fnatic team, they've been choosing this coastal loot. It's not really a popular location because it is so scarce down there. The loot is not very heavy, but they've been pushed off the normal loot locations by teams such as XQF. They've been forced to go for these scrappy drops instead of the big Gatka drop that they usually do.
Another thing that's going to go in the favour of Udo here, mentioning them, is that they have got the shooting range entirely to themselves. That is their preferred loot location. Tempo, you just saw them on your screens, hanging out in Pachinki. They're the only ones who really like to go to that sort of area, and once again, they've got it to themselves. So most of our teams actually do have pretty clearly defined loot zones so far. It's only really Fnatic who are being bullied a little bit and pushed around, and I suppose a few other teams who've been under a bit of pressure, but most everyone's been able to find some loot pretty cleanly. Yeah,
it looks like FFQ will start to rotate towards that military island. They're going to stick to it, but the plane ride for them was not very kind. It's just again, Omen and Orange knocking on each other's doors in this Yasnaya. Well, it's not even a fight, really, in this Yasnaya town. They're just looking at each other funny, looking at each other sideways, and then running away.
Yeah, I mean, both of those teams had pretty shaky game ones. Orange managed the 2 points. Omen Elite just the 1. So neither of those teams will be too keen to get into fights early. You don't really need to risk anything unless you're very confident that you can get 3 or 4 kills out of it. If you can do that, then absolutely the points are worth it. But otherwise, I don't think those two teams will be taking too many risks here, at least until either they get some kills that are a lot more certain to secure, or once there's some decent placement points, if they do take a risk and it doesn't pay off. Early on, I think, once again, it's going to be a pretty quiet one here in our second map of the PEC.
Yeah, it's going to take a bit to get into, as the teams will have looting on the mind. They'll have money on the mind. They won't have the kills just yet. We'll see around that 3rd, 4th circle again. It will start to pick up. At the moment, it will just be scouting and routing, trying to get a little bit of loot, get that extra information, try and find your way into the zone. Nobody has sent it into the center of the zone quickly yet. It is Tempo Storm on the move out of Pachinki. They've seemed to be looted up pretty quickly. We'll have to see how fast they try and make their way to the center. So last game, they tried to make their way to the center very quickly, and it did pay dividends as they managed to collect themselves second place. Not too many kills to it, but that's what you expect when you see these center crashing teams. So these teams that go center early, they most likely won't be the team that gets the most kills in the game, but they'll survive for such a long time that they set themselves up for the late game. And that's where they're going to be banking their points on. Placement over kills for Tempo, I believe.
Now, one thing that I want to think about looking ahead to the rest of this tournament to tomorrow really is where we'll see this map and both of our maps again. I want to see if we will have some of the teams lower down start taking some risks. Like, in these early games, if you have a bad game 1, no one's going to take any risks game 2 because the tournament is so young and so recent that you don't want to have 2 bad games in a row. But if you have some poor performances today and you know for a fact that's, let's say, I don't know, XQF or one of those other teams who are sitting up on top, they go, right, they've been dropping here and no one contests them. What if we hot drop? What if we drop next to them to try and loot and then go put some pressure on, whatever it might be? Why don't we just go sit here and cut off their rotations? Anything like that. Given that it will be the second time that we've seen these teams on these maps tomorrow in tomorrow's 4 games, I want to see if we'll have any of that or if it will be more of the standard, everyone just plays their drop zones, plays it carefully. I would be surprised given how much emphasis there's going to be on kills, plus those 3 0-point placings. Careful there, Fnatic. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see some more aggression off drop in some of the games tomorrow.
No, tomorrow is definitely going to be Silly Sunday. I believe the second day is when everything will start heating up. It is going to be Sensible Saturday today, of course, with the teams being very careful.
Not going to lie, I did have to check what day it was. You're correct.
It was
Saturday.
Yeah, it is Saturday. So Sensible Saturday. The teams will be playing cautious, just waiting for the mistakes for their opponents, waiting for the information to go off. 4 AM, not getting a lot of information at the moment as they are still in North George, just looting up. Not feeling too pressured. C9 have actually rotated through South George to North George, looking for that long northern rotation. You see now, actually very close to some of these 4 AM players. Of course, C9 did unfortunately lose their first player as the first player of the tournament. Paraguay claiming Percasas, I believe it was.
Yeah, it was Percasas.
Yep.
Who went down there, and it looks like C9 will be escaping the 2-2 split, the clutches of 4 AM relatively safely for now. XQF once again have set themselves up on a hill, and they've got a bit of Overwatch positioning going on. Fnatic and Tempo on your screens posturing at each other. These are another couple of teams who don't want to go out early. Tempo actually had themselves a good time last game. They managed to make it all the way to second place in the three of XQF versus Triple Snakes. They did make it all the way into second, and only the 4 kills gathered. That's still 16 points. That's a very good start to them, to the tournament for them. That puts them...
You'll be happy with that.
I believe equal in terms of points with Udo, but Udo will be ahead because more elims.
Yep.
But either way, that's a very good start to the tournament. They want to go out early, and of course, Fnatic, 2 points last game, need to be turning things around here. I wouldn't be surprised if both of these teams just fire a couple shots. Maybe we'll have a few knocks, a little bit of poking, but I think both teams will be wanting to engage, or disengage, sorry, rather than take this fight.
So Specs showing that he wants to be using this VSS as much as possible. That's the second time in a row we've seen him with that thing strapped on. It looks like, well, Tempo definitely know this. Well, the Fnatic are in the area. I don't know if they know which team it is, but they definitely know there is a team in the area, and they're playing very cautiously around it. We saw some Snakes earlier pushing up for just that any little piece of information they can find. Fnatic managed to build themselves a car compound. As Tempo do start to range shots out, the DP for Chica, that's going to be very handy versus these car compounds. It shreds vehicles, that gun. Sol, they are pushing up. Zute, yeah, he's on the run. He's taking a run, but he actually takes a fall as Amada's knocked Zute. That's the IGL for Omen. He goes out first in game 2. Not the way they wanted to be starting things off. But 3-man strong. We saw Cloud9. They took the first blow last game. They managed to snake their way up to 3rd position. So 3 men, it's doable.
That's the second time in a row for Tempo that we've seen... for Omen, that we've seen Zute be taken out first, isolated from his teammates. Last game we saw it got a little bit too aggressive, a little bit too sneaky up a hill and was isolated. That time, he just couldn't quite join up with his teammates on the rotation out quickly enough, and the result is the same both times. He is punished for it, does go down, but still 3 players remaining for them, and as you said, we saw multiple teams who took losses early on, making it deep into the game, so... We'll see if that's going to be the case for Omen Elite here. They did only get the 1 point on our first match of the PEC, so they'll be wanting to do much, much better this time around. As, I mean, I don't think we're going to have a 13-kill win every single game. Like, I don't think we're always going to have a team in the high 20s, low 30s sort of area, but I wouldn't be surprised if all of our wins are mid-20s in terms of points. So if you're having 1 point games, it's going to put you pretty well in the dust behind the leaders pretty quickly there as well.
Certainly will, as Sol are getting spotted in their rotation. Schreider's not going to take shots, though. He's cleverer than that. He knows he's outnumbered and outgunned. He's just going to get in the Dacia and move away quick smart. Not a bad choice from you, big fella. Viper will try and get the angle on him to spray him out. He might hope for some tyres, but hitting a shot from that distance, you'd want to buy a lotto ticket if you did. The crate's been spotted, hasn't been looted, so maybe Sol will decide to wander over there and see if they can pick themselves up some fresh level 3s. They are awfully important, level 3s. They do negate a lot of the damage, and can't get headshot, well, one-shot headshot if you do have that helmet. Not even AWM will take you out there. Omen, they have built the comp. This is where Team Queso were playing last game, actually. They've managed to claim themselves this divot.
Little ditch, divot, whatever you want to call it.
Or speaking of Team Queso, they ended up on 0 points last game, and they're in a bit of strife now as Nico claims Marco. But Paraboy's actually stolen it from downtown,
what?
so...
Where?
I don't know.
How far away he is? What is that man doing?
Paraboy, that's dirty. You're not allowed to do that. Nico earned that one, mate.
Nico's just sitting there like, yeah, you know what? I would be annoyed, but I'm also not peeking you.
Yeah.
After last game, no way.
Well, that's good information for Tempo. Now they know where XQF is, and they actually are peeking them. Checking themselves. They're angry that killer's been stolen. But if I was Tempo, I'd be like, all right, that distance, that location, that side of the map, I'm not going anywhere near that. Stay away from windows if you are looking. I believe that's what 240 is east, I believe. So Order now peeking out. Rain doesn't quite time the shot to perfection, but he did get the information.
The other thing is, for Tempo, I mean, they got themselves some decent points last game, so if they can pick up a few kills into XQF, that's going to be very good indeed. C9 here giving up on the temporary car compound, getting in their vehicles, and on the move once again as Circle shifted northern away from the water.
It's a hard shift too. Look at that. That is very difficult for some of these teams on the southern side. Mega, DKG, all in strife as they rotate in. FFQ, again, we find them with a long rotation. A very long rotation indeed. Team Queso have, looks like they've found themselves in a bit of a 2-2 split. Omen in their self-made compound are going to have to move. Well, they don't actually have to move. They are inside the zone, but it looks like they want to move. As there are a lot of angles available at the moment. And you see Sixless now getting shot at by Yasha with that M24. That is a gun you do not want to be taking a shot from. He's
lucky to avoid that one there. Sixless did cop a couple snipes last game. He did hit one of his own as well, but certainly copped some long-range damage. So we're looking to avoid that. 4 AM here with some shots into Fnatic, who will all be actually choosing to stop, bail out of their cars and take some cover rather than trying to push that rotation on. Going to stop and spec it out for a second, see if they can figure out exactly where the danger is before moving on again. And unless
Svanovo is really getting a lot of information here too. And 4AM were very aggressive last game, and
surely
if he could time these nades, he could with these nades. Oasis not on full health, and that nade looks good. It is going to claim Ronak. Oasis now under a lot of pressure to get dropping very, very low. That second nade has claimed Oasis, so now there are 2 members of Fnatic on the deck. And it looks like there's not going to be enough time to pick them back up. Scout poking Svano, and he does get the trade. Svano is very far forward, though, so maybe 4AM decide to give him up, but he has been good for 2.
That is a very, very gutsy peak for Scout there, but it works. And yeah, here comes the rest of 4AM. Fnatic already down 2 players. 4AM keeping this pressure up as well. Look at the res off here with the cover between the 2 vehicles. And Fnatic in a very difficult position now. They don't want to go out early. They had a very rough time last game with only 2 points gathered. They've already lost 2 players here as 4AM going to go park up in the lounge room. Put a lot of tire tracks on the carpet, but keeps them some safe. So that will do, and it's not looking too great for Fnatic here. At least they will have some time. 4AM won't need to push that fight too aggressively, but surviving in the late game with just 2 players is going to be difficult. Either way, XQF on your screens here, the winners of game number 1, and the team that houses the, I suppose, tournament MVP, given that we've only had 1 game so far, and he was the MVP of it. Paraboy 8 elims, something like 1,300, 1,400 damage over the game, and 14 knocks, if I recall those stats correctly. Very, very strong start to the PEC for him.
Yeah, I take my hat off him. I don't know if we'll see that this game, but we can only hope. It'll be very exciting if we do. Omen, FFQ, Unique. We saw these teams, well, Unique and Omen face off last round. And Unique won the battle, but did not win the war as they were taken out pretty quickly by Yudu after. So these teams once again getting in each other's way. Sixless would have got the information there as he did tag up one of the Unique players. Again, though, you can see not a lot of cover in this area, and they're kind of using these vehicles to their advantage. They haven't blown them up or taken out the tires just yet. They still want to use them. As Mega want to use their vehicles of their own. They're sitting in that lumber mill on the southern side of the circle. They want to push up. If they push up around that prison area where they plan on going, they could meet an angry XQF squad that really do like to take these fights. Not afraid to give up a little bit of ground to win the war, XQF.
Mega coming in very, very close to that XQF controlled area as well. XQF are up on the hill, so bit of cover to be gained for the Mega players inside the compound just below, but need to be careful nonetheless. Team Queso on your screens, our only 0-point team from the last game that we need to pick things up just here. And they've left a lurk on the edge of the cliff. This is a bit of an
insurance policy, I reckon. Dexy right on the edge of the circle alone.
Yeah, they've left a lurk to pick up the rotations.
I think he'll be picking up rotations. He'll also be tanking for points, I think, or playing it slow for points. As if the other two players get picked off in their rotation, then all their eggs aren't in that one basket.
He can also play for info there as well. I mean, if he sees a full team of 4 vehicles rotating past him, he's never going to win that fight. But he can give that info to his team, and maybe they can find themselves a bit of a safer way around it. That said, I mean, those Team Queso guys already down a player. It's not going to be the easiest one for them if they tried to fight it through to the win. So more than likely, they'll just try and survive, try and play it sneaky, and hope that their opponents will thin the ranks of each other for them to help them out, get towards those higher placement points, which again, they really don't pick up until top 5 pretty much is when the placement points start actually getting you somewhere.
Yeah, if you're playing for placement, you'd have to be getting those top 5 positions. You have to be getting top 5, top 3 minimum.
Yes.
Because you just don't get enough placement points in this format to really make it worth it. You need to be getting those elims if you aren't getting those top 3s.
Yeah, that's the problem with a scoring system like this, is that it does put way more of an emphasis on the elimination
speaking
points.
Of elimination.
Is that you can't, yeah, there is what Nox was there. You can't really just play for placements. There's other formats that we've seen where, you know, like everywhere down to top 5 gets double digits, and great. If you can just stay alive till top 5, top 6, excellent points. In this setting, you need to be in top 3 to get decent placement points, assuming that you're a solo player or maybe a team of 2 who aren't going to get many kills. So a much heavier emphasis on eliminations here. And that's something that we saw in the scrims as well. Obviously, they weren't something that was broadcast, but we had a cheeky look. And apparently, there were some teams who were just choosing to take some of the scrims to go for just a straight-up battle strategy, just charging around fighting people rather than playing for placement. And we haven't seen that yet, but teams were testing it out. So we'll see if it comes up.
Yeah, Omen thanking their lucky stars with this circle shift. It has shifted hard to the west, but they don't have to move as we see Unique getting pushed up on by.
Unique and XQF.
Yeah, XQF.
It's a big battle.
Order. He is pushed up alone. He was part of a 2-2 split. They're both cooking the nades. I believe Kitsune cooked it first, but he's off the mark. Paraboy has managed to find Rogue on the outside already, so this is one man down, and Kitsune now knows this is XQF and is on the run immediately. He has managed to time his run to perfection, though. Gets away on half HP. Order doesn't look like he knows that running is there just yet. He does have to check. Looks like Kitsune's managed to escape. Got away safely, would be the way I'd put it. He's managed to find himself a vehicle too, so he's regrouping up. But Omen are thanking the lucky stars because they're not in a position to rotate away easily. They have a lot of eyes on them. They're rotating in open space with cars. So the fact that they don't have to move is a blessing for them. Synergy E, Mega, and Soul all occupying the same area at the moment. Mortal smoked up, down on the deck. He's in a right pickle. It looks like the third-party action's helping him out at the moment, and he's managed to avoid danger as he is just sitting in that smoke. They're looking for him, though. They know something's up. Mortal getting sprayed down, taken down by online. That is one of the stars out of the South Asian region going out pretty early in game number 2.
Rest of Soul are here and putting some good damage into these Mega Conqueror players, but the cover is brutal coming back from Mega Conqueror there, helping out with the crate weapon they're able to grab there, and I believe that's just the one player remaining for them now. if that knock is confirmed here. It's just Viper who is up for Team Soul at the moment, I believe.
Still got
I mean,
Regaltos.
too.
Yeah, still got Regaltos with him. That 2-2 split from Soul not paying out. As 4AM and Udo continue their battle. They fought well last game, but 4AM did lose that battle pretty convincingly. Well, it's a nice headshot from Viper from downtown too. So Soul avenging Mortal's death with trades of their own. Amana's going to be difficult to pick up though. I don't think they're going to be able to go for that.
I'd say impossible at this point, unless Mega just choose to bail right now and get away from this fight rather than just stay in cover, which is what they're doing. There's no way that anyone will be able to get out to Aman. And Viper, you can see his teammate. He really wants that one if he can find it. But yeah, this is Paraboy cleaning up that frag there as well. As if you could pick a player that you don't need to be giving kills to, it's Paraboy.
It's Paraboy.
He's got enough.
He's got 2 already actually in this game alone, so he's well on his way.
That puts him at 10 for the tournament in 1 and a little bit games.
4AM with an elimination from 300 meters away. Sock.
Jeez.
He knocked Regaltos out of that window, took him down to now Soul Viper is the only player remaining for that team. And Soul, they had a poor game 1 too, as Aman goes down, but the third party SGEs, that's Synergy. Another South Asian team claims revenge on Mega. Coolboy getting lit up as well, one by Udo, so things are starting to heat up now, and it's only the third circle that's being brought in. So this is a little bit more action than we saw last game already.
To give you a little bit of perspective on these Paraboy numbers, just to give you an idea of how insane they are, he's sitting at currently, I believe, 10 kills in the last 2, really just game and a little bit. If he was a team, he would be in 3rd place on the kill leaderboard. He would have 10.
Pretty handy.
He'd be just behind XQF on 13 and Udo on 12. No one else is in double digits. So actually, he's on XQF. What am I saying? So you take 10 kills out of XQF, they've got 3. So he'd be 2nd, essentially, if he was a team.
Circle does shift, and it's a hard north one. Those squads that we've been seeing fighting in the south are going to have to move now. It is C9 with a decent position, as well as Fnatic's last 2 players. DKG are in the middle as well. FFQ found the backside of Unique. Old Boy going down. This is a fight that's been breaking out for quite a while, as Mega trying to get themselves into the points. You see the XQF rotate straight past Unique. Kitsune buying his time. He knows that this isn't a fight he can win, really, so he's playing it slow, as Order has already got out the car and got out the gun already, knocking Tucker's lid clean off in the process. He will get picked up, though. Won't be able to confirm the kill.
Unless they just decide to send it straight for his
with
kills.
Paraboy in the passenger
XQF,
seat.
no fear at all. They're crashing here into FFQ to try and clean these up. Paraboy
Surely
out
not.
the window. No way is he going to be able to find these.
No, he's knocked. There's 2 knocks.
I think that's deserved. I gotta say, I think XQF got a little bit overconfident in that one. I think that was a bit too gutsy.
Jimmy now taking shots too. That's 3 players down from XQF. That was very gutsy. We saw 4AM push like that in the previous game, and they got punished for it. That was FFQ, yeah, punishing now XQF. Unfortunate that we won't see any more Paraboy in this game, but well punished, I guess, from the side of FFQ. As 4AM are lighting up more. This is Svanovo is actually Svanovo is actually lighting up the kill feed at the moment, as he got a double with the nades earlier, and now Sook again with this mini.
Mega just lost 3 players
very quickly too. They are one of the squads that are down to 1 player. Soul as well down to 1 player. 4AM versus Udo. This is a fight that we saw last game. Go Udo's way. 4AM will be looking for revenge, really. Nades won't quite rain out. It's very difficult to throw nades from the high ground to the low ground. Quite easy to overshoot or get the angle wrong. And it looks like at the moment 4AM haven't got the angles they need. Looking for a bit of a flank, but haven't been able to find anything just yet. Udo looking like they might try and reposition off this. The nades 4AM have been throwing out. They have used a lot.
They certainly are throwing a lot of them, but they might just...
that one might be decent.
Might just be able to get some...
Oh, it might be very decent. Fredo wears it. And now the push will come out. They're going to start getting aggressive. He's in here on the flank. Jumper waiting to receive it, but he is going to be caught out. Drax caught slipping a little bit, and now the third party, or the third angle comes good. Jumper taken down, and now only 1 player up from Udo. It is Manpung. He's not going to be able to get the revive off, and he's going to go down to the spray. 4am claim a 4-man clean wipe, and they pick up Mega in the process. So that's 2 teams they just knocked out immediately. Orange go down as well. Mega, they're in the bin at the moment. So 4am wipe out 2 teams just like that. Viper is close by as well, so they could take a 3. They could take a hat trick. And we are now moving on to FFQ Synergy. They're taking now shots at each other on the outside of this circle. They're going to have to push in. Omen is privy to this fire too. They'll be hearing these shots roll out, waiting for the first knock, I assume, before they start to move in. Strider is going to be the first one knocked.
FFQ here looking to try and confirm these kills if they can. They've already done some decent damage here, but a lot more to be done. Also worth noting, we did lose Yudo Gank in the middle of that on 0 points for themselves. Did get cleaned up. Team Soul will be leaving us as well. So already a bunch of our teams have lost many players. Team Soul are on just 1 there. XQF Mega also with a single player as Omen are getting a bit of a pinch with the unwitting help of FFQ onto these Synergy guys.
Oh,
it's not
Pyra's
looking
actually
too easy for them. And where did Cloud9 come from into this?
Well, they've come from downtown as Pyra manages to claim that kill out. Scout has heard the vehicle pull up close to him. He knows that he's only got 1 teammate to his handy, and Tuck has actually made a run for it now, splitting off FFQ in a bit of danger, but they've actually spread out very well to avoid getting pinched here.
Considering how many teams have a line on their position right now, it's very well played from them to even be alive at all. Omen Elite have hit the outside of the circle and gone for a very fast rotate, but they're driving straight into the last remaining XQF player. Not sure if they'll be able to spot that or if Jimmy's just going to choose to hold his cover, hold his nerve, as Tempo are still right in the middle of this one. What a ridiculous nade that is to knock Hades out. That's FFQ losing 1. Wait,
yeah,
2-3 even, never mind.
Yeah, we see now that third-party engagement. Unfortunately, FFQ wore the brunt of it as they are down to 1 player remaining. Tate from Team Queso has knocked Wi-Fi in the meantime, but he'll be able to get picked up. It is Synergy, FFQ, and Tempo Storm going at it, hammer and tong at the moment. Taka sitting in the smoke, just biding his time, really. He hasn't got much to play for at the moment. He's the last player alive. Wi-Fi actually does get stolen out by Moxon.
NA
and now they're getting pressured.
Yeah,
it is. It's NA on NA action, and Omen are wearing the brunt of it. Carnage, the last man alive. What can he do in this situation? It is a sticky one. He has third party from the back, and the car blow up will be done and dusted for him. Beowulf claims it. C9 on the board in the tournament for eliminations, and they're moving up into the top 10 as well.
That's alarming for Omen. They're going out with 0 kills and only 1 point. That is 2 single-digit points games in a row from them. 2 one-pointers, actually. So it's not the worst thing in the world. Still 6 games to play, but Omen, we're going to need to see them pretty much turn it around and get, well, 10 to 15-point games all the way through from here if they want to remain competitive.
More of a desert team, I reckon. As the nade comes out, it does land close enough to do some damage, but not quite close enough to get the kill. The circle is moved, and it is donutted. This is going to be a rough circle, circle 6, the Thanos circle, often referred to. Could see the snap and half the teams disappear. We see 4 teams with 1 player remaining. One of the big ones, XQF there. And the big one to pay attention to. What can Jimmy do for his boys? 4am, 11 kills moving in now. Jeez. FFQ get taken out, and it's going to be them done in 10th place. They managed to claim themselves 6 eliminations though, so that's very good work from them as DKG putting shots into 4am. Not quite connecting there with the headshot, so not going to get the knock. Jimmy's on the move. He's on the move in the Dars here. He's the last man remaining for XQF, our current leaders, and he's managed to escape the line of sight long enough to live. Jimmy's actually managed to get a kill as well onto Team Queso, so Jimmy's done more than what's asked for.
How? Okay, he's lost his car. That's
he's in the circle,
risky, but he is in the circle, and with the car and that hay pile, hay bale, whatever you want to call it, he does have himself some reasonable cover. And of course, his plan here, long run, is just to stay alive for as long as he can. Mega Conqueror will go out in 9th place. There goes Synergy as well. Yeah,
4am are on the charge, starting to claim some kills. His cheek is knocked as well. He might be able to get the revive here. No, Spec's chosen to pull up at the tree. There are enemies around, all around at the moment. As Team Queso are, well, they're out now. 14 points for 4am already in eliminations alone. They are looking to equal, if not better, XQF, or they have already bettered them in kills. They're looking to catch up as their disappointing game 1 won't stop them from charging into game 2. DKG's positioning is quite fantastic here. Yeah, they have to push into the circle, but at the moment they have all the information they need. Jimmy could be the thorn in the side for them as they didn't spot him moving in.
They do have the long-range angle to spray away at Cloud9, though, and you can see those players jumping around trying desperately to get some cover, and they've actually won a knock there from Chica on the hands of, Tempo Storm, I should say. Beowulf's going to go and get the res onto his teammate there. The smoke will bloom and give him the cover that he needs. Things still get a little bit hairy for our surviving NA teams, though. Cloud9 and Tempo both still need to try and find themselves some decent map control. Both are outside of this zone,
nice
and that's
nade.
a big nade onto Spec there as well.
That's a third nade kill this game for Svano. Quite well, he knows the geometry of the nades quite well, but this is actually Fnatic's benefit right now. Fnatic are sitting in the middle of this engagement with 2 players alive. They're sitting in the smokes. They're just waiting for something to break out between Tempo and Cloud9, just so they can take advantage of it. They're stuck in a really sticky situation, Fnatic, and now Tempo are getting picked apart as Jinhee has knocked Spec to the ground. That leaves them with 3 players up.
15 kills for 4 AM right now.
This is scary territory if you're anyone else.
Their way towards the end of this game. Of course, it's not all said and done. They could well go out here, but they're almost guaranteed to be in first place after everything, given the amount of kills everyone else still alive is currently sitting on. They've done a very good thing for themselves with this start to the game. More importantly, though, Fnatic and XQF, 2 players and 1 respectively, they've both made it into top 6. That means we're starting to get into substantial placement point territory. So the longer these 2 teams can survive, the more worth it is. Like XQF, they've only got 2 kills. Fnatic, they're yet to get even 1 in game number 2 here, but they are getting towards the time where they will be getting some decent placement points here. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 16 for the last positions, the last 6 that are left. The longer they can stay alive, the more points they'll redeem for themselves.
And Jimmy's managed to find his way into a bush as well, pushing again into the circle unnoticed, so that could be a thorn in the side of DKG. As they start to rain out against 4 AM, we can see Fnatic did choose to pop their heads up. Ash does wear a knock for it. He did manage to claim 1 knock as well, so not the worst trade-off result. Looks like his smokes are coming out to try and help his teammate escape some fire. Beowulf is on the deck as we see DKG starting to get knocked out. Jimmy will know this, and he'll have to wait his time out. I reckon 1 more knock and Jimmy might pop up.
And to see if he does choose to fight or just play and stay down, try and get the better placement points. But of course, kills, as we've already discussed, are worth more than the placement points relative to it. Nico sneaking into this last player from Fnatic. Surely that's one he can find.
Up.
Knows he's there, but can't quite find this final frag. There we go. It'll be a headshot as well as Fnatic. 0 kills, but they bow out in 6. That's 4 placement points. That's a lot more than they could have had.
Yeah, it's still not optimal for them. I think you'd classify that as a bad game as well, as Rain starts to wear a knock. He's actually knocked and finished off. So Tempo Storm down to 2 players now. They have 7 kills to their name, so they're still walking away with decent points. They're 1 player now, and they're finished off completely by 4 AM, who move up into 18 kill territory, or elimination territory now. 4 AM wearing some shots from Beowulf as he's managed to find himself on the deck. DKG answers onto Pyra with the nade. This is going to summon into action the DKG gang as they try and push forward now. 2 in a car. It's a 2-2 split. They are going to push onto the North American side of Cloud9. This could be very hairy very quickly. Crazy gets out early, drops to the deck. He's just going to throw some nades around, get some cover.
I want to be careful about being in that car, though, as any lucky shots from C9 that connect with that car could blow it up and put a bit of a awkward end to their campaign here.
Jimmy's
worth noting as well, Jimmy, I was just about to say, yeah, he's still in this top 4. He's got so many points for his team here, and he really wants to get this nade in. He could get so many kills if that lands.
It does!
It does! It knocks out Crazy. Now they know roughly where he is, but DKG still have so many other players to worry about. They can't really afford to just turn and focus Jimmy right now.
Yeah, Mad GG can't afford to pick up the revive. He has to be active here, watching out for Jimmy. And Jimmy's really helping out Cloud9 here. They managed to pick up Beowulf. Now they're 4 strong. Jimmy's actually claimed Crazy.
No way.
DKG are getting picked apart. They're down to 1 player remaining. It's only Moxon strong at the moment.
No way does Jimmy get top 3 with this play.
Jimmy's done it, I reckon.
I think he might have just done it.
Unless Pyra finds him now. Jimmy might, but now Svano with 8 kills has found Beowulf in the grass. That will be his 9th. Perkasass is going to try and get the trade onto it. Spray just missing. And he's now aware of where Perkasass lies. Will he try and break double digits? You probably back him from here.
I mean, he's actually just beaten the record from last game that Paraboy set for kills by a single player in this tournament. Of course, we're only 2 games in, but good to see that we are having these players step up and perform on an individual level. XQF and DKG both with 1 left.
Moxon's down.
That will be the end of DKG going out in 4th place. Jimmy has somehow stayed
Jimmy's
alive
answering
all
on
the way,
too.
and he's spraying into Cloud9 as well. He finally is taken out, but all the way into 3rd place for XQF. That is a very big thing for them. It's 4 AM and Cloud9 are left to fight it out.
You can see Cloud9 now wearing the knocks. They're down to their last player, and that will be it. And 4 AM will claim a 23 kill win, I believe that is, for 4 AM. That is incredible numbers. 23 players. We go into the lobby with 60 players. Take away the 4 on their team, that's 56. They got almost half of the eliminations in the lobby.
That's stupid. It's completely ridiculous from them. It's a very, very good game. And, I mean, I think we kind of provoked it by mentioning that, you know, that XQF had a really good game 1. And that maybe no one else will be beating those sorts of numbers. And then it's like, no. We're going to beat both your individual record and your kill record. You know, we're just going to beat everything. Why not? Let's go.
It was incredible action out from 4 AM. It felt like they did not lose a single engagement on the way. Well, obviously they didn't lose a single, but they didn't lose any sort of ground as well. They just kept pushing together. The nade usage was perfect. When they did get knocked, they backed each other up pretty well. And they made